Hey, what's up, guys? I'm not going to take a whole lot of time on this video because I'm actually working on my bathroom, and God, there's so much to do. I got to install the tub today and rip out the floor, then install the tub. But that's not what this is about. Wickard v. Filburn. Wickard v. Filburn. This is a case back in 1942, and why it's important is because it is kind of the precedent for the ongoing discussion about Obamacare and its constitutionality. So let's talk. I'm just going to read this from the first part in Wikipedia, and I'll put the link down because it's a pretty good. It surmises what the story is all about. So a farmer, Roscoe Filburn, was growing wheat for on-farm consumption. Okay, meaning he's consuming it in bread. They're eating it. He's using it to feed his livestock. Whatever. The U.S. government had established limits on wheat production based on acreage owned by a farmer. So, okay, now you've got farmers getting told how much they can grow depending on their acreage in order to drive the wheat prices up during the Great Depression. So this is during the time when the government thought that it could social engineer its way out of the Depression. Many argue that World War II was kind of what brought us out of the Depression. Many other people argue that that's BS. I am of the belief that the Great Depression was put to bed by the Great War, by World War II, because nothing works better than the military complex for drumming up funds and putting people to work. Okay. And Filburn was growing more than the limits permitted. Filburn was ordered to destroy his crops and pay a fine, which, Jesus Christ, man. Even though he was producing the excess wheat for his own use and had no intention of selling it. Okay. The Supreme Court interpreted the United States Constitution's Commerce Clause under Article 1, Section 8, which permits the United States Congress to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with Indian tribes. So this is that interstate clause that they keep talking about when they're discussing Obamacare. The court decided that Filburn's wheat growing activities reduced the amount of wheat he would buy for chicken feed on the open market. And because wheat was traded nationally, Filburn's production of more wheat than he was allotted was affecting interstate commerce. Thus, Filburn's production could be regulated by the federal government. Wow. So, notice how they didn't say Filburn was going to eat the wheat. Notice how they didn't cover the fact that a lot of that wheat was going to be consumed with his mouth, right? Because then at that point, it wouldn't be considered an interstate commerce clause violation. I'm just pointing this out to people so they can go look at it. There's a meaty little background and a really good opinion of the court, subsequent developments. It's a good little read. Take your time with it. I don't think anybody will have a problem. It's not in legalese. And go on YouTube, type in Willard v. Filburn, and there's a Judge Napolitano. It's Napolitano, right? A Judge Napolitano on Glenn Beck, and they're having a discussion. Now, how is this? How does this apply to today? Well, oh God, I've got drywall gypsum all over me. How it applies to today with Obamacare is that the government is trying to define a story, lay out a political argument that states that everyone requires medical care, not insurance, medical care at some point. And that the fact that some people go forward and do not put into that medical care and only take out via going to the emergency room, leaving false information, so on and so forth, that to subsidize the effect of that private entity, the hospital, the medical groups, whatnot, that the government will step in, mandate that we all who can pay to have medical insurance. And if we don't pay to have medical insurance, then we have to pay a fine. So the question of constitutionality of this particular instance of Obamacare is when you're discussing whether Congress has the right to mandate a relationship with a commercial entity. In this case, mandate people have insurance. They are not supposed to do that via the Constitution's Commerce Clause. And the link is there. Go look at it on Wikipedia and figure out what the Commerce Clause means to you. Now, when I say supposed to, this is all my hypothesis. Lambdog in a recent video said, always beware the person that tells you, let me tell you what this means. I agree. Go read it yourself. Come to your own conclusion. My conclusion is that the United States Constitution prevents Congress from pushing the people into a financial relationship with a private entity. So, if that's the case, the the mandate for the fee regarding the Obamacare would be deemed unconstitutional. Now, if that is the case, I think if they strike down Obamacare's mandate there, I think that there will be a turnaround of Wickard v. Filburn. And hopefully, this is the fuse of the powder keg that begins the deregulation of a lot of our government laws in place that prevent individual freedom, or individual freedoms. Okay, don't want to get into it too deeply. If you have questions or whatever, leave a comment. Okay? Take it easy, guys.